Our next guest leads popular tours that have become an institution in this city. They explore history through food, called Walk Around Chinatown. Indeed, the organizing principle of his life is food. He comes from an old family that supplied produce throughout British Columbia. But his family also experienced racism that challenged his own sense of identity. What he once turned away from, he now fully embraces, and we are all the better for it. Please welcome Robert Sung.
Well, Ma Lao, Gong Hei Fa Choi, Happy New Year, Year of the Monkey. So about a month ago, Lynn and Sam called me up and said to invite me to come speak tonight. And I said, okay, can I get back to you? What Sam and Lynn did not know that I was at a restaurant, and right before me was a bowl of one-ton noodle soup, beef brisket, and I was more focused and passionate on the bowl rather than Sam and Lynn's phone call. So right in between eating, I said, oh, okay, I'll call Sam back. Sam, Lynn, okay, what do you want me to talk about? And it said, what are you passionate about? I'm passionate about food, and I'm passionate about being Chinese Canadian. Now, passionate about food and being Chinese Canadian, I take my inspiration from my father, Bruce Sung. Bruce Sung was born in Vancouver in 1916. He would have been 100 years old this year. Dear old dad was a grade 10 dropout from Britannia High School. He was a gambler, and he also was an entrepreneur. In his early 30s, he had the tenacity and drive to cater to the US Army and Navy in World War II in Prince Rupert. It was a point of embarkation in his early 30s. Okay? And the very unique thing about that is that Dad was not a Canadian citizen, because if you all didn't know, the Chinese didn't get were not enfranchised until 1947-48. So he made his base. After catering to the military, he then proceeded to cater to different road gangs for the Alaska Highway. He then bought a trading post in Whitehorse, Yukon, and he made that the first supermarket in Yukon. He had the distinction, he had the drive, and he had the tenacity to do things like that. And all around food and being Chinese Canadian. So that's where I take my inspiration from my father. My inspiration is a walk around Chinatown. Now, this is a culinary and cultural walking tour of the Vancouver Chinese district. But what I'm pleased about is that it has personal meaning for me in terms of all these years in my formative upbringing. I had to assimilate. I had to be whiter than white. I felt I had to be whiter than white, except for my pigmentation. And now is a time for me to have creative expression, to integrate, to showcase my culture and heritage. And a perfect medium for this passion was food. Because no matter what, food brings people together. So my tour gets into the symbolic values of Chinese culture. We get into Taoist, Confucius, and Buddhist values. Taoist values are yin and yang, yin being female and yang being male. The color for yin is blue. The color for yang is male. The color for yang is red. Blue is cool energy. Red is hot, fiery energy. But the Chinese equate that with good luck and fortune, all the positive attributes in life, health, wealth, and happiness. So this tour has a lot of meaning for me. It gives me a vehicle to showcase who I am and what I do, and what the Chinese Canadians stand for, and the rich history about the Chinese community. My tour, we start in the gardens, beautiful gardens. We walk around the historic buildings. We sample apple tarts. And if nobody's ever been to a Newtown Bakery yet, you got to get to Newtown Bakery for the little apple tarts, okay? Then we walk around herbal medicine stores, fruit and vegetable stores, different things like that, just to get terms of reference of what the Chinese culture is like. So it means it adds texture for me. It's really important for me to be doing this. And I can't wake up fast enough in the morning to do it. One of the things which my passion also compels me to do is to be part of the Chinese Canadian Historical Society and also the Vancouver Chinatown Revitalization Committee. Oh, there's a picture of me. We get back into the tour. There I am. There's three animals there. I'm the one on the left. Okay. The middle one is an octopus. The other one is a gecko. Now, on the very right is a gecko. And in nutrition, in the values of Chinese herbal medicine, if you make a soup out of gecko, it's good for people who have asthma conditions, and also tempers down fevers. So we get into that intricate part of Chinese culture, and I'm so happy to show everybody about it. Anyway, the Chinese Canadian Historical Society, very exciting for me. It compelled me to get in there. Currently, I'm co-chair with Mr. John Atkin, a historian, and we've done a lot of great little tours. One of the tours we'll be thinking of doing is Chinese Shaughnessy. Now, you may laugh, but at one time, the upwardly mobile Chinese who have become embedded in their lives, they had to move outside of Strathcona in Chinatown. So, this little factoid, Oak Ridge became Chinese Shaughnessy. Okay, so now you know, okay? Chinese Canadian Historical Society, we track, it's for education, outreach, and community outreach. One of the things that we did a few years ago, we had eating stories, and there was a workshop of different members having a writing workshop talking about food and family histories and a corresponding recipe. So this society brings a lot of texture and meaning to me. What also brings a lot of meaning and texture for me is being part of Vancouver Chinatown Revitalization. Chinatown's going through a bit of a challenge time at this point. And the purpose for me is to respect the past and to progress to the future. Thank you very much.